Hello, welcome to the class of Cybersecurity Foundation. So today we are going to discuss about the other 3 steps for risk management. So in this class, we will learn about risk ownership, risk mitigation and the risk monitoring steps. So first one is risk ownership. So here a risk ownership is an individual, generally a project team manager. So he is responsible for the management, monitoring and control of an identified risk. So here the risk owner assess the risk and report the status of the risk to the project manager on a regular basis. And depending on the project, there are separate risk registered meetings that are occur at defined interval like fortnight, after 13 days or monthly. So here it is discussed as part of weekly progress and the status meeting, and the risk owner will provide the update on the respective risk during these meetings. So when a risk actually occurs, the project manager will either initiate contingency action or deal with the issues under change control. So here the change control is a systematic approach to manage all changes made to the product or the organization. So the purpose for the change control is to ensure that no unnecessary changes are made which will cause the risk to occur. So this is the risk ownership. Next is the risk mitigation. So risk mitigation is taking steps to reduce the adverse effect of risk or reducing its probability of occurrence. So in this process, organization introduce specific measures to minimize or eliminate unacceptable risk associated with its operation. So here the risk mitigation measures can be directed toward reducing the severity or probability of the risk. Next is reducing the organization exposure to the risk by reducing the target area. So these are the measures for the risk mitigation. Next are the type of risk mitigation strategies. First one is risk acceptance. Next is risk avoidance. Next one is risk limitation and the risk transference. So first is risk acceptance. So this strategy is a common option when the cost of other risk management process such as avoidance and elimination is high than the cost of the risk itself. So like the cost of damage that caused by the risk. So the company doesn't want to spend a lot of money on avoiding risk, so that because that do not have a high probability of occurrence or that doesn't cause such damage to a organization. So that strategy is the risk acceptance. So you have to accept that risk in this. Next is the risk avoidance. This is the opposite to the risk acceptance, and it is an action that avoids any exposure of the risk, and it is the most expensive of all the risk mitigation options. Next is the risk limitation. So it is the most common risk management strategies that are used by the organization. So it is a combination of both risk acceptance and the risk avoidance. And it is a strategy employing a bit of a risk acceptance along with a bit of risk avoidance on average of both. Next one is the risk transference. So here it is a process in which risk is handed over to the willing third party to cure it. So these are the 4 risk mitigation strategies that are used to reduce the risk implementation or risk occurrence. Next step is risk monitoring. So risk monitoring is the process of tracking risk management execution and continuing to identify and manage the new risk. So the purpose of risk monitoring is to keep track of the risk that occurs and the effectiveness of the responses which are implemented. So the risk monitoring is an essential process because risk is not static. So this is all about the step for risk management. Thank you.